Okay, so episode 1 of Dragon Ball Daima is officially out, and I have some thoughts. Welcome to the Blackstar Zero YouTube channel. I'm Blackstar Zero, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Let's get into it. So can we start off by acknowledging how impressive Daima looks visually? I've seen a lot of people commenting on how the Buu Saga scenes were essentially ripped from the page of the manga. The animation is very fluid, and I can't lie, I'd like to see Dragon Ball Z redone from scratch with this new level of animation. I will also say that I don't see a massive difference in between what we got in Daima and what we got in the Dragon Ball Z anime. Like, yeah, the stuff looks good, it looks updated, but in terms of what we got in the Buu arc with the scenes that were shown, you know, Goku versus Majin Vegeta, Gohan versus Buu, and so on, those scenes still look very good to me. So I'm not really sure where the energy is coming from that, you know, the Z anime was so terrible and it looked trash. But that's just me. All right, moving on. So first thought, I noticed in the trailers for Dragon Ball Daima, and even in the promotional posters, it's Goku, Glorio, Supreme Kai, and another character, I don't know her name yet. But I really wanted to see Piccolo, or really want to see Piccolo, should I say, journeying through the Demon Realm with Goku based on the information we got in episode 1. So we find out that, according to King Goma, the Namekians were originally from the Demon Realm and they escaped thousands of years ago. You also come to find out that anyone with pointy ears is a demon or from the Demon Realm. So that means that the Saiyans, the Kais, and anyone else with pointy ears originated from the Demon Realm. And for that particular argument that's been floating around the internet, I don't buy into it. And here's why. Frieza has round ears. Majin Buu has round ears. Majin Buu is from the Demon Realm. Does that mean that Frieza is from the Demon Realm as well? I don't think so. It's not as clear cut as, you know, some people are trying to pretend with it. I don't think the pointy ear thing meant anybody with pointy ears originate from the Demon Realm. I just think that pointy ears are a feature of people from the Demon Realm, in the same way that Namekians have green skin and antennas, and the way that Saiyans are all born with tails. It's just a feature of where they're from. The next thing I'm wondering is, how does Zalama fit into the puzzle? So we find out that Neva, the singular Namekian remaining in the Demon Realm, created the Dragon Balls there. Namekians haven't been in the Demon Realm for thousands of years. So who created the first Dragon Balls? Was it Neva or was it Zalama? Maybe Neva is Zalama. You know, he's going by a different name now. He returned to the Demon Realm, or, you know, something could have happened. Toriyama is retconning the origin of the Dragon Balls. You never know. But I just found it very interesting that we now know the person who created the Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm, and the Demon Realm is where the Namekians are from. So that suggests to me that he created the first Dragon Balls, maybe? And lastly, there's a fun little parallel I noticed between Neva and King Piccolo. Neva, the creator of the Demon World Dragon Balls, he created 3 Tamagami to guard the Dragon Balls as well. And when you look at the Tamagami, they kind of reminded me of cymbal, drum, and tambourine from early Dragon Ball, you know, the first children of Demon King Piccolo. So I'm just wondering, were cymbal, tambourine, and drum made instinctively by King Piccolo in the same way that, despite not knowing his origin, Kami, or Nameless Namekian, created the Dragon Balls instinctively? I'm also wondering if Dende can create Tamagami as well. Maybe it's an ability that Namekians gain as they grow older, similar to the ability to draw out a person's potential. Next up, we have the Kais. I'm wondering if the Kais will be explored in further depth. We have 3 siblings in the series that are all Kais, but only Shin is a Supreme Kai. Does the Demon Realm get allocated a Kai and an Angel as well? We learn a lot about the Destroyers in Super. Will Daima be doing the same for the Kais? And on the point of the 3 siblings, you have Shin, Dr. Arinsu, and Degesu. Degesu seemingly the younger of the 3. He's asked for a wish from King Goma, and we can see that the Supreme Kai will be turned into a child as well. Now, to me, it appears that Degesu will use his wish to turn the Supreme Kai into a child so he can be the older brother. And that is a very petty and a wasteful wish, if you ask me. Toriyama's comedy remains undefeated, I guess. The demon world also seems very insular, with very little knowledge of the 12 universes. Goma and Dagesu being surprised by other beings flying around and using Kai Blast was kind of shocking. Demon Realm seems very weak if Deborah was the best that they had, and Zebora was fighting evenly with a weakened Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. When I say weakened, he hadn't trained. It was stated multiple times during the early portions of the Buu saga that he had way more power when he was a child and, when he fought against Cell. So the Demon Realm seems very insular and very weak. I guess this is why they had to put it before Super, because by the time we get to Super, the level of power that the characters are on right now, it's ridiculous. There was nothing anybody in Demon Realm could do to fight against Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and others at the present moment if, they were to explore the Demon Realm in Super right now. Also on the point of the Demon Realm, I was wondering if the Demon Realm also contained a multiverse. In Dragon Ball Super, we got introduced to the concept of the other universes, Universe 7 being our own universe, and then there are 11 others. It seems that there is a very specific and somewhat well-regulated method of interdimensional travel in the Demon World. They can't just jump from one universe to the next like Whis and Shin can. It seems like a singular and totally separate space. What's going on there? There is no multiverse based on what was said, but there are 3 Demon Worlds. Another point of contention is the retconning of the Potara earrings again. So in Super, we got the retcon that if the components of a fusion do not involve a Kai, the fusion isn't permanent. The second retcon to that was that the fusion will only last for an hour, so you get 30 minutes more than the Metamoran fusion dance. But in Daima, we confirm that the gases inside of Buu are able to dissolve a Potara fusion. And the Supreme Kai and Kibito requested that Buu do the same for them, and then they defused. Supreme Kai's reasoning for wanting to defuse to the side, I think that they will have to refuse again at a later point, because otherwise Daima is now doing to Super what Super did to GT. There are things happening in the story that make the series that's supposed to come after it impossible. We saw that the Supreme Kai and Kibito remained fused up until the Battle of Gods arc, where they defused during the fight with Beerus, using the Namekian Dragon Balls. So for that scene to still make sense, at the end of Daima, the Supreme Kai and Kibito will need to fuse using the Potara again, which doesn't really make sense. And if that's the case, if you could just go to Buu and request that, he inhale you and spit you back out and defuse you, why then did you go to the Namekians to use a wish to defuse? You could have just done that with Buu because you've already done it. So you could have just made the request again. So we'll just have to see how that part turns out. And lastly, there is a new MacGuffin introduced in the Dragon Ball Daima series, that being the Third Eye. Third Eye is said to be an artifact that all the Supreme Demon Kings in the universe have, and placing it on your forehead gives you unfathomable power. So I'm wondering if this will now lead us to the true final villain, and will it be Dr. Arinsu? She seems to be scheming and up to no good. She's taking a trip from the Demon Realm to Universe 7 before the start of Daima. So she's already been traveling through and, getting up to her own machinations. So I'm wondering if it will be Dr. Arinsu. I don't believe it's going to be King Goma. He just doesn't strike me as main villain. Glorio, on the other hand, the character that's going to be accompanying Goku and the Supreme Kai along with the little girl, he reminds me, and he looks a lot, not even just that he reminds me, he looks a lot like Mira from the Dragon Ball Heroes and Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So could it be a situation whereby it ends up that Glorio was the main villain the entire time and he's seeking power for himself? Or is it a situation whereby at the end of the series, Glorio could take over as the new Demon King and then fosters a good relationship with Universe 7, and then that could be further explored later on in Super through, stuff happening in DemonRelam, because as I said before, it seems quite insular and secluded. They don't really have a lot of knowledge about what's going on, so by proxy, that also means that the other 12 universes might not have any idea of what's going on in the Demon Realm, and there could be very powerful threats lurking there that nobody knows anything about. So I think based off the first episode of Dragon Ball Daima and all this lore that we just got, it is a very interesting concept. I'm looking forward to see how the questions I have are resolved. I'm not expecting a lot of this to come through. I'm not trying to, predict anything. But these are just things that came to me while I was watching the first episode, and I just thought, let's make a video and kind of put that out there and see what other people think. If you have any thoughts or, anything popped up while you're watching episode 1 of Dragon Ball Daima that you think is interesting or, would like to see explored, please, by all means, let me know in the comment section. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We are still aiming for 100 subs by the end of the year. We are at 87 subs currently. I'd be very appreciative if you could help me out with this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.